My socks on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live in the house. Taylor Jones official Romer the Romer today, joined with a special guest, the one and only Amazon Kingpin. Guys, let's give it up for Jacob Alwar. Crushing the game. Guys, the one and only Amazon Kingpin. Guys, give it up for Jacob.
Do you have your YouTube on?
Who's got their someone's got their YouTube on. Either Jake
Not
or
me.
Yeah, who's playing? It's not me. Is it in your
Yes,
room?
it is.
Do you have your YouTube on? Maybe it's
Someone's got their YouTube on.
Did that make it go away? Let me put headphones on. Who's playing? It's not me.
No, I don't have
Me
YouTube
and Taylor
on.
are like right next to each other right now. Do you have your YouTube on? Maybe it's did that make it go away? Did I fix it? Who's playing? It's not me.
No, I don't have
Me and
YouTube
Taylor are
on.
like right next to each other. Somebody's turn off all devices near you. That's you, Taylor, because when you mute, it goes away. Do you have like your phone near you or something?
Okay, I think we're good now. All right.
Did you have your phone?
Sorry
on?
about the technical difficulties. No, I didn't. I don't know. I think it was Jake. He's smiling over there.
It might have been me. I don't know. No, I just started closing out a bunch of tabs. I really don't know. I don't know.
No,
if it was
it's
me.
fine. Okay, guys, thank you for your patience. So, as I was saying, Jacob was pounding out 500K months in revenue, doing a fair deal. He blew up pretty quick. So, Jake, we're happy to have you on, brother.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to allow me to, share my experiences and allow me to just share anything you guys have questions about. So, yeah, I appreciate it.
I like this little studio. Is it you at the warehouse or are you at home right now?
No, I'm at the warehouse right now. This is just the back wall. Obviously, we got a couple decks on here, a couple skateboards by Tony Hawk. I don't know if you guys are fans of Tony Hawk. It's a signed image by Tony Hawk.
Oh,
but
hell yeah, the Pro Skater, bro. That was my favorite video game on PS3 back in the
There
day,
you go.
PS2.
that's right. That's right, for sure. So, yeah, man, I started back in March 2019 or 2008, 2019. We'll say January 2019.
That's
and I really
crazy,
started
man.
getting the
That's
ball
so
rolling in
crazy.
March of 2019. Initially, we started out selling books. Got into it because I was trying to leave the rat race, right? The 9 to 5 that I thought was, I was going to be in forever. So the way that kind of got started was I had a boss, like a manager. Kind of give you guys a rundown of my
'Cause
background.
you were at the bank. You were at the bank back in like 2018, 2017.
Correct, yeah, I was a financial advisor at the bank. That's correct. So I was working there. I thought I was going to grow old with the company. I really was. I had a business before. I was in the insurance business, selling insurance. I drove myself $85,000 in debt. How do you drive yourself that $85,000 in debt? Well, I was using credit cards like crazy, and I just kept using these credit cards to buy leads. Long story short, had to get back to the corporate world. Fast forward 5 years now, here we are. We're working for ourselves. So it all started with a boss telling me I couldn't go to New York. And when I got back from New York, I saw a personal development book that I was actually reading at the time. I saw it on the bookshelf for $1, and it drove me crazy because on Amazon it was for $20. So it got my gears rolling, and I had a friend who told me his grandma and it kicked in. I mean, he told me this 4 years prior, that his grandma used to sell Bibles. And so I was like, maybe I can sell books on Amazon because I had buddies selling on Amazon. And so I went home.
What were they selling though? Were they selling books too?
No, they were doing wholesale, toothpaste, Crest, like brand name products. I just didn't know the wholesale game. I wasn't familiar with it, and I had very little capital, if actually no capital. And so I had to start really small. In wholesale, you kind of have to start with a few $100. Maybe I would suggest starting with a couple $100 rather than not. That way you can get the ball rolling faster.
So you were ripping books. You're like in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, we're at the job, but we're gonna rip these books. This is the exit. And then at what point where you're like, okay, books is not the move?
Yeah, so I'll take a step back for a few seconds. So the first day I went into this DI, I'll get to your question right now. Okay, so I got into this DI. I'm sweating.
Take your time, brother. Take your time. We're here for you.
Sweating and dying of not spending my last $20. Had I spent this last $20 and told my wife, she probably would have killed me. Now she knows. But then had I told her, she probably would have killed me. So I go into this DI. I found Scout IQ at the time. They gave me a 2-week trial. That was awesome. Amazon gave me a 2-week trial. Went in there, walked out with potentially $536 in my pocket of profit from books. That was my
I feel like every time somebody goes to a thrift store for the first time, I got people in the Discord right now posting their first hauls from Goodwill, and they're like buying dictionaries, like Webster dictionaries. They're buying like a bunch of shitty books, and I'm like, I don't even say anything. I'm just like, go for it, because it's gonna be hard for you to lose money, and you're just so excited. Like when the app tells you profit, you're like, this is money in the bank. I'm gonna buy it, and then like you realize down the road that you shouldn't have bought it.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, that was like there was actually a couple of personal development books or business books, however you want to look at it, textbooks that were not profitable that said I was going to make me like 50 or $80. But beyond that, so I got the fire built under there. And then a year later or a year and a half later, after, transitioning from running around to store to reaching out to these local stores and getting bulk books to going to estate sales and closing estate deals with the people. And I was working at these estate sales, not working physically, but I was calling them if I knew they were going to close in that estate and asking if I could buy all of their books or all of their things prior to them selling them to the public. I got to the point where I was taking in 2 truckloads. I have it a warehouse, and this is post-COVID. COVID hits, my account gets shut down, and it's shut down for a month. I end up taking
a counterfeit book, or what did it get shut down for?
So it was due to another related seller account, which was in fact not true. It took me a month literally to read forums, every single policy from A to Z that Amazon has, to understand what the problem or the core issue was. Long story short, I was so fed up. I'd already sent in 2 POAs. I think I was on my last POA. It might have been my 3rd or my 4th. And I sent it in, but this time I included Jeff Bezos. 6 a.m, my stuff's reinstated.
Wait. What do you mean you included Jeff Bezos?
You included him on the email.
I included him in the email. I said Jeff Bezos, and then at the very end of the POA, it said I had applied my previous POAs. I demand someone to really look into this because this is not true. Like I was crossing Wi-Fi's. I even disconnected my Wi-Fi. I went to friends who I helped build Amazon accounts. I told them to like literally remove my Wi-Fi. All kinds of conspiracies.
You have no idea whose account it was connected to?
No idea. So
damn. What would you tell someone that's watching, maybe that maybe is going through that right now? Like, any advice?
So if you're experiencing an account shutdown, whether it's due to another related seller account, an IP complaint, infringement, whatever it may be, keep going after it. Don't give up. There's times, to me personally, I wouldn't hire a service out there. I would do it yourself.
Really?
If it comes to a point where you think you do need a service because you just don't understand,
you can just Venmo Taylor and he'll
give him the $100 or $5,000 and he'll make sure
I'll set up an automation store for you.
For real. So I would just encourage, keep going after it. Don't give up. Because I got my account reinstated, I can't say not give up, but don't give up. Just keep going. Even if you have to retain a job for the time being, whether it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the line, you still don't have your account, just keep going after it because Amazon can change your life. And as long as you have that account reinstated, you can get the ball rolling again, right?
Do you remember?
Can I just say one thing, Avery? First,
yeah, go ahead.
We got 9 people in here right now, guys. If you have questions for Jake, Avery, me, anyone, especially Jake, we're here for you guys. So drop the comments drop the questions in the comments so we can answer them live.
And drop a sub if you guys aren't already subbed to the channel. Drop a sub for Taylor. He's almost at 2K.
Nice.
Do you remember what you did exactly? Because I have some friends right now actually dealing with this. Do you remember what you said or what document you uploaded to prove that you were not associated with the account? Or do you think it was just like that, the fact that you escalated it to the Jay Bezos at Amazon, whatever email that was? Do you think it was just like a different perspective that somebody looked at it and like, oh, this account should not be shut down?
Yes and no. I mean, I still have the templates. I save every single template that I use when I send in a POA. I have the original POA that I wrote for that still saved in my Google Drive. I actually share one of the templates that I have or helped me get on reinstated. And I've had this happen twice. I use that same template and I share it with people all the time. if you need a template, I'm willing to send it to you. I have.
And where can they find you at? Instagram, Twitter?
And you guys can find me on Instagram, YouTube. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on any platform. Just Amazon. Just Amazon, Instagram, and YouTube.
Right.
So if you guys need templates, I'll shoot it over to you. Just feel free to ask that in the question or shoot your emails down. If you guys do want a template on IP complaints, 2D workflow, 2D barcodes, multiple others, feel free. I'll shoot it over to Taylor.
That's his Instagram, guys. So just add him on Insta. Just go ahead and slide into those DMs if you know what I'm saying.
You like that? You just did a Freudian slip with 2D workflow. Do you like 2D workflow?
I love 2D workflow. It makes my life so easy compared to when I was using these other software tools that I was using. I literally could just hit a check mark, how many units I want to add, hit ship, create shipment, and I'm done basically. Yeah. So it's seamless. It's easy. I love it.
Jake Carter, shout out Jake Carter out there in Eugene, Oregon. If you're watching, he told me that 2D workflow, they're like, like if you send an Amazon FBA shipment, it's like units expected, units received. He said just regular shipments, he was losing shit left and right. 2D workflow, it went to like practically nothing.
Yeah.
Is that true? Have you noticed that at all or no?
Very true. Very true. I've seen that. And my check-in times are so much faster.
Crazy.
Like a week, sometimes 2 weeks faster. Sometimes I'll get the week that I send it, they'll be checked in that week. Which I mean, and I've sent individual shipments thousands of times, thousands of individual shipments. And that usually takes me 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, sometimes to get those checked in. This 2D workflow really changes the game when it comes to wholesale. I don't know about so much with OA and RA. Just because if you're using prep centers and all these other centers, or if you don't have a facility yourself, then I would encourage, just using inventory.
Go to Lister.
Oh, go to Lister for sure. Yeah, you can use that.
Larry's got the wholesale down. I'm taking over the OA and
for sure
bookseller space.
For sure. So I end up gaining my account back, right? That morning I end up going to Walmart and I just start scanning vitamins. And I was in a group at the time too, but I didn't know they were selling vitamins at the time. So anyways, I scanned this vitamin. I'm like, this is crazy. $150 for a vitamin C pack? Like literally, it was stupid. I was buying them for $5. What I ended up doing is I ended up going to every single CVS, Walmart, Ralph's or Smith's, whatever you want to call them, Walgreens, anything that carried vitamin C, I went to and I basically cleared their shelves. And you guys can see that on my Instagram. If you've seen my Instagram, you can go on there and I have just thousands of these vitamin C's. And I'm not even showing all of it really, to be honest. I'm just showing like a fraction of what I bought that day, maybe in like 4 or 5 hours. But we had thousands. We started selling those. So overnight, I transitioned my business from books to OTC.
What was it, a shortage of vitamin C or something?
No, Trump had said that vitamin C was going to cure corona.
Oh yeah.
And so
that's hilarious. What was the ROI you were seeing on that?
Thousands, 10,000% ROI. It was crazy, bro. I was buying them for $5, $5 to $6, and I was selling them for $150. And before I can walk out of Walmart, all of them were sold.
That's dirty, man.
That's how fast they were selling vitamin.
COVID was crazy. Oh my!
Yeah, COVID was a whole nother ride, right? Like you were either lucky or you knew what you were doing and you just like went ahead before everybody, right?
Jake, what if someone's watching this right now? They're like, they hit the COVID stuff, they hit the pools, they hit this stuff, and they're like, they're looking at these leads, maybe they're averaging like a 20% ROI, and they're like, yo, I want some of that COVID stuff. Like, how can I get out there and find the stuff that makes me 100% ROI? Like what would you say to someone that maybe they're only doing like 10, 15K and they're like, I want to take this to the next level?
Okay. So that's a really broad question because it's like, it depends on the person, right? What are their work hours? What are they doing throughout the day? So if I were just to say, hey, one thing I would say, go scan more because there's products out there that you're missing and there's potential. The only reason I found those products was because I was scanning, right? And like when I did RA, this was all RA. I would go into a store and I would stand in one aisle and I would scan every single item on that shelf. Didn't matter if I didn't want to do it or not. I still scanned it all the way to the right-hand side. so that when I came back, I knew exactly what items were selling, what items weren't selling. If vitamin D was popular, okay, let's go find some other vitamin D products, right? Mason Naturals, random, Kirkland, whatever. So that's what I did. So to answer your question, if I were you guys, I would go out and scan, or if you're running a software tool like Tactical Arbitrage or whatever, Tactical Expander, whatever you're doing, just keep scanning and keep going through products. And don't give up. I mean, there was times when I wanted to give up, and I'm sure we all face that. Like, we're just so tired of looking at these leads and we don't think we have it. You guys, have you ever seen that image where they're like, he's picking the axe and there's those two guys. One is there's diamonds and he finds it because he finally just went through, and the guy was maybe like 3 feet away from finalizing the axe.
And he turned around.
And he turned around. And so I use that image all the time. I even have it posted right here so that I can remember that, yeah, just keep going that extra inch, because it will come eventually, or it will show up. It just doesn't matter. So that would be my first advice: scan. If you want to speed up the process and you're doing OA or RA, storefront stock, 100%. You're going to storefront stock. I promise you, I can almost guarantee you, because I know it's happening. I can almost guarantee you that you will make a profit that first month if you storefront stock some good stores.
And this is for online arbitrage, for wholesale.
This goes for
retail arbitrage.
This goes for all three: retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or wholesale. I would say private label. I don't want to say anything about private label.
How you've been doing Amazon for 5 years now? So since you started books, what was the month? What year did you start books? Because I'm curious.
Yeah,
when did you find store?
This would be his fourth.
This is 4. When did you start storefront stocking?
When did I start storefront stocking?
I didn't start storefront stocking. I was doing RA for a year, and then I was doing OA for a year without even storefront stocking. I literally started storefront stocking like 9-10 months ago. Crazy. What about you? From the get?
Like a month after I did OA. It was like, because we were already talking about that a little. Like, I was kind of already, I learned that from eBay. So I used to drop ship on eBay, and that's how we would store. That's how we knew what products to sell. So I'd do Amazon to eBay drop shipping. And so I would go to the sold items. I would go to a storefront and I would stock their items. And so I kind of already knew about that from eBay. And then I used that technique on Amazon. So right out of the get-go, I kind of just started doing it. It wasn't something new to me. So yeah, I would say those are the two things. I would scan, and don't give up storefront stock. And I guarantee you, if you storefront stock right now, even if you were to storefront stock 30 stores, by 2 weeks from now, you should be able to make $100. Even if $100 a week to you is a blessing, because the way I started my business was only to make $100 a week, because me and my wife were struggling so bad that, I was $85,000 in debt, guys, and I was only making about $2,000 to $1,500 a month. My paycheck, like physical salary paycheck, was only $1,200 a month. I had to make commission to be able to supply for stuff. So I was so hungry. So $100 was huge, guys. So even if
I feel like it's the reps, like Miles shared on his story a little bit while ago, like 52,000 searches on SellerAmp. And it's like, you have millions of products on Amazon, right? And maybe half of them are not profitable, but half of them are profitable, maybe 30% or like 5 to 10% ROI. Maybe like, only 2 to 5%, maybe probably less, maybe like 1 to 3% are actually like that hyper ROI. But if you just keep looking, eventually you're going to find something.
Exactly. And I do want to say one other thing. This is something I share with like students or people that I'm personal with. Grab a piece of paper, and go to your house and go to your bathroom, go to your hall closet, go anywhere and start writing down the products that you buy and sort and see if those products are selling online. Exactly. Stanley Cup, right? So those would be ways or methods to be able to start gaining some sales, some profit in your pocket. Now, are we going to see anything like COVID? Honestly, I don't know, man. That was really, really crazy. That was something else. I'm
ready for the next pandemic. Let's go.
That would be nice, but I think I average my ROIs. as low as I go, I'll go as low as 10%, right? But I try to keep an average between 30 and 40%, just so I can cover overhead and any type of employees that I have. Sorry for the train in the background, guys. For any employees.
I thought it was Avery. I tried to mute Avery.
Why would there be a train on my side of the house, but not here?
Yo, how's Salt Lake, Jake? I know Oregon got 4 feet of snow. Have you guys been getting hammered?
Yeah, we got a ton of snow. It's snowing right now, actually. So yeah. Snowing. So yeah, then I went from OA. So like I felt like I mastered, but it was more or less, I hit a plateau, I felt like, and I knew I wanted to grow more. So as I felt like I got done with OA and RA, I started to transition into wholesale. And last year around January or February is when I really started to transition into wholesale 100%. I was like last year in January, I was 90% OA, maybe 10% wholesale. By February, March, April, I was like 90% wholesale, 10% OA. That doesn't happen for everybody. So if you guys are wanting to switch from OA or RA to wholesale, I would encourage you to stick to your OA and RA until you can fully transition and replace your income with wholesale, because it can get really tricky. And there's times when, if you're only making 10% or 5%, you got to remember that, that's a setback a little. So you need to create more volume on your items that you're wanting to profit on.
With online arbitrage, do you recommend people go wide in the number of products they get? Like do you recommend they cast the net wide or go really narrow in products?
Again, I think everyone's going to answer that kind of differently, but for me,
it probably depends on the stage too. But when you were cranking in OA, do you remember, like, were you doing like a bunch of different products, or
yes,
were there like
100%? Yeah, I was at one point at like 1,000 items. 1,000 items. And I was doing 20. I was only buying 15 to 30 of those units at a time. Very minimal, because in OA and RA, what I found most, if you wanted to scale, like, I just felt like there was, as soon as you started to scale and other people were storefront stocking, your price started to decrease. And so you either the first one in or the last one out. And I'd rather be the first one out selling than the last one standing. You know what I mean?
So, I wonder what Amazon account is the most storefront stocked store on Amazon. Like, wouldn't that be an interesting metric? Like, oh, this is a store that most people, it'd be like impossible to get that metric, but that would be
it's probably, if you look at the Nike listings, right, it's probably the people that are on the most listings.
Yeah, you can look at it that way. Yeah.
But so what would you say to Jake, to people that are maybe looking to make that switch, right, to wholesale? I think that's like, when I follow Amazon Lit story, that's the kind of like the thing that everyone struggles with. It's like, well, how do I find a supplier? Like, what's that process look like? People are doing OA, they want to get their first supplier. Okay, they sit down and it's like, okay, I'm going to dedicate the next 2 hours to make this transition. What do you say to them? Like, how do they go about that process?
Yeah, so there's kind of like 2 parts to this. Because one, we can be like, well, what I would do is this. You're already in OA and RA, right? You already know there's brands selling. Use those brands or those hot selling products to see if you can find distributors or suppliers for those products, right? Because they're selling. You're going to get a lot of no's with wanting to open accounts, which is fine. But what separates you from everybody else? That's what I teach. What separates you from everybody else? Why you? Because think about how many Amazon sellers are calling. But long story short, so what I would do is I would leverage the items you're already selling, find suppliers or distributors locally to you that carry these products, and see if you can get them for a cheaper price. Once you open those accounts, because you have that relationship with them, you'll be able to go through their catalog and see if there's anything else. Like I said, this is a time process. This isn't something that you're going to be able to switch tonight and be in wholesale next month. I got lucky. And so this is a 6 month, maybe 3 to 6 month process. It just depends really how fast you want to turn everything. But that's what I would say. personally.
Start with the products you already have. Find suppliers. If you're selling supplements, just Google supplement suppliers and see what comes up, and then
In
just reach
simple
out.
terms. Yes.
All right. Simple enough, guys. Get calling. And you had sales experience from your job, so like you think that helps now reaching out to people.
Yeah. At first, yes, it does. It does. It helps a ton. But at first, because I thought Amazon was just like this some mysterious unicorn thing, that sales didn't apply to Amazon. And once I figured out that I could use my sales technique and just communicate with these suppliers, everything became easier. Because when you guys are first joining, or some of you guys are transitioning, you're like, well, what do I need to say differently? What do I need to do? Well, just be you. Just connect with these people, let them know what you're trying to do, and move forward. And don't be discouraged if someone tells you no. Just move on, or ask them why. People love to talk about themselves. So if you ask them why, they're more than likely going to tell you why they don't accept either Amazon sellers, or they're not accepting new distributors. And that's
we're already represented on Amazon, or we don't know.
Oh, that's great. I'd love to hear that. What are they doing, differently, or what can I do differently to help? Just keep the conversation going. But if you feel standoffish and you just don't want to talk to them anymore, hang up, move on. I mean, you lose one, you gain 10 more. So
Yeah.
no worries there. That was one of the biggest things too, is we get discouraged when we get a no. I think we're auto tuned for that when our parents used to tell us no. So we just immediately think that's not the right thing to do. So if you hear a no, to me, my famous saying is, no is just a yes on another day.
So now that you're out of the OA game a little bit, you're doing more wholesale. Do you have like any
wholesale?
Do you have like any juicy tips that you can give people that maybe like you wouldn't have shared before, but now you're like, I'm out of the game, I can share this? Maybe like websites, or a certain strategy, or like a honey hole that.
Yeah,
or
because
just
some
like
of us are still in
Yeah.
OA.
Yeah, no. I'm sure you guys are cranking this out, and Seller Amp, I've kind of taken a look at it a little, and it does a lot of what I would tell you guys to do with other software tools, which is super cool. So if I were in your shoes, or if I was to start this over, I personally would storefront stock. And what I would do, here's the tools I would use: tactical arbitrage and tactical expander. And the very first thing I would do is, I already have a list of storefronts of 100. You can run a 50 storefront scan on tactical expander, plug it in, let it run for the night, show up in the morning, and perform a reverse search if you want. Or just start going through those items and finding those products at a store. Those were the two methods that I would do to just start cranking out stores and finding products.
And what is it doing, like when it's scanning the store? It's looking at the ASINs, and then it's going to look it up on the websites it's connected to, like Walmart, and then look for profitable prices.
It's just it's extracting all of their data. So just all of the listings they have. And then you're uploading it to inventory labs, and then you're performing a reverse search.
You mean tactical arbitrage or inventory?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Tactical arbitrage. Yeah. I'm so sorry. And then it's performing a reverse search. And then in the morning you wake up, you'll have a list of leads that you can go through and find.
What percent of those are generally good? Like 5%, 15%? Because there's a lot where you just get through them. Like it's just like Amazon's on it, or the price increased to like $50, but yesterday it was $15.
If I can give you a percentage, I would, but I'll be honest. I felt like when I storefront stocked, I found a lot more leads than if I single hand searched through a website or I niched down. Just because, like I said, people are wanting to buy items that are already selling. So if you're storefront stocking and you're performing a reverse search, you're more than likely going to find items that are already selling, or you can find for a lower price at your retail storefront, because these people are selling them. Costco, for example, go run a Kirkland search. I'll give you guys another example. When Smart Scout first came out, like the very first week, first month, that's what I was using to find all my premium leads. I literally was just going to brands. I was performing certain searches and I was extracting those searches. And then I would just go to tactical arbitrage and perform a reverse search, or go to Walmart, Target, and all these and perform reverse searches. It was very manual, hands-on. And that's how I was able to find those premium leads.
So you're doing a reverse search just for one brand at a time?
All brands.
But you would only be doing one brand at a time, right? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, you could do one brand at a time, but you're only
Or what are you pulling from Smart Scout? Just people's stores or the brands stores?
the brands.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you an easier example. So, I have Smart Scout. I'll pull up the brand, and then I'll filter out what are the top selling items with Amazon not being in stock, and then there only being between 4 sellers and like 25 sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see those items are more likely selling. And so then I would pull that and then see what retail storefronts would have those items. Lego store, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, all of that stuff. That's how I was able to pull my premium items. Does that make sense? Or do you want me to share the video, share a screen and show you guys a real quick clip?
I think we're good on that because we actually got to wrap up in a couple minutes here.
No worries.
Yeah, I would love to see maybe next time. But yeah, we have that coaching call.
We can pre-record some videos in the future too.
And then one other thing, one tip that I actually don't really share with very many people, except for like inner circle groups, is that if you're doing OA and RA, remember this is a relationship business. Okay, so if you go into Walmart or Target or any of these stores, Dick's Sporting Goods, for example, you can even call them and ask for a buying or district manager or your buying agent, whoever places orders for the store, you know what I mean? And then you can communicate with them and see when they're getting products in, or see if you can buy products through them. So that's some real.
Have you done that? Have you done that before?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is how. Oh, one other thing is how I was able to find pools.
I like how you paused there for a second. It was really suspenseful. You're like, yes, sir.
I'm like, well, I was like, should I say yes or no? But yeah, no. So this was one of the biggest things that I did when I was doing RA. Like you guys saw me with a lot of pools. You guys saw me with a lot of chlorine. You guys saw me with a lot of stuff. It was because I had connections throughout all these other states, including Brickseek, and I made connections with the managers. So they would tell me, hey, this is when the product's arriving. Hey, this is when this is, or hey, we have so many of this. Do you want these? And that's what I did. And if you guys create relationships with your managers at your local stores, you have a one-up over a lot of people. So keep that in mind. Yeah. That's how I was able to one up everybody or a lot of people in RA. I felt like.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. So I just want to wrap up. We got to hop on our coaching call. If you guys are interested, send Avery and I a DM. We're going to get on our private group call from 9 to 10 here. Guys, don't forget to head over to Instagram and follow Jake on IG. And if you have questions, you guys want to work with him, send him a DM. Reach out, introduce yourself. I guess we'll answer this question real quick, and then we'll wrap up.
Is there another way to use Brickseek with Walmart? At this given moment, no, I haven't been able to figure out another way. I still check Brickseek every now and then. It's nothing like crazy, but no, to answer your question, no, I don't know of another way.
Okay. And then Jake, last question. Where do you see yourself like in a year or two? Where do you see your business going? What are your goals?
So currently I want to be doing about 10 million by next year. And gross sales. We're on track to do that. We are for sure on track to do that.
What does that mean? You're on track to do that like this year? Or
so I would say this year, but I feel like we're going to hit 5 to like 6 million. It's just the numbers we're doing and a few of the downfalls we had, pitfalls. Like guys, don't get me wrong. Let me share one other thing. You guys will have relationships and you will lose relationships. You know what I mean? I could be at the top of the hill doing 750K a month and back down to 150K in a month just because, these relationships or because of products. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind also.
What do you think the most important factor is for these relationships? Do you think it's how much money you're spending? Do you think it's communication? What do you think is like the most, like in the Amazon space versus like other sales spaces? Like what makes these connections last?
You being you, going to their events if they host events.
I will say that's huge. Like Miles just dropped that seller amp, and even like me hearing the word seller amp, I like seller amp so much more after Miami. Like us chanting seller amp, like I literally feel like that's my software now. Like you were in the room, and it's like that's kind of like the same dynamic,
right.
Showing up, showing your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue.
And then sending them gifts, whether it's a $10 gift card from Starbucks or find out what they like, send them this stuff because they're the ones giving you better pricing at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And so you keep those relationships.
So what are you doing? You're looking on the email, you're looking for the address and you just like surprise them with a little.
No, No, I actually just tell them, hey, what's your address? Because I want to send you something.
Okay.
And they're just like, okay, cool.
You're not about the surprise aspect.
No,
of
no.
it.
Like, I mean, after that, when it comes like Christmas and a few other things like their birthday, find out their birthdays, dude. Like, really find out these people, get to know them. This is sauce, guys. Get to know these people, and I promise you they will take care of you in the long run as long as you help them or give them stuff or just like buy them a bottle, buy their family dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, you know what it is? It's like, it's so simple. It's like, just be a good person, you know,
Yeah.
like, be like,
It's just like,
treat them like your family. It's like the same shit with VAs, you know, treat your VAs like as like a family member, like a treat, you know, like a team, part of a team.
100%. Because I'll be honest, I thought that, you know, before doing wholesale, I thought it was like, oh, you know, it's all about spending money because we have money, right? Like there was one point where I offered to spend 600,000 on chlorine and these people just ghost me after. Like there's so many lessons I've learned.
Wait, say that again. What happened?
I went to spend $600,000 on chlorine back in November because I was prepping for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, they ghosted me because, guys, no, there's not very many stores buying or spending 600,000 or 100,000 on products. They're spending $2,000 to $10,000 on these products. And
was it your first order with them?
Yeah, it was a major deal, dude. Major deal. Well, this is what he said. He's like, send me everything you want because I'm gonna get good pricing. He's like, I need help with getting a higher PO, and so I sent him this.
That sounds like a tax evasion strategy, right? December 31st, I'm gonna send you 600,000. All right.
So
yeah,
guys. I mean, it's a relationship business. Keep to it. You know, that was the biggest lesson I've learned is like just be you, have fun, reach out to these people, don't give up. And when you do give up, just know, kick yourself back in the ass, get back up and start calling or just keep going, bro. Like, I swear this will change your life as long as you stay consistent.
Awesome.
Have fun with it, guys.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Let's give it up.
Thanks for coming on, man. We're about to do a private call with Kingpin and our private coaching students. So if you guys are interested in that, our goal of this program is to get you to 6 or 7 figures in less than 12 months. So if you guys want to apply for that, hit Taylor up
For sure.
on IG at Taylor Jones Official or slide in my DMs, Romer the Romer. And yeah.
Or
we'll
if
see
you
guys
like
soon.
Jacob's personality better, I'm sure he's got plenty of skills to share with you guys, and you can.
You got some type of program or something, Jake?
I'm getting ready to offer like a group coaching.
Cool. Yeah, hit Jake up too if you guys want to do wholesale.
If you guys follow me on YouTube, you know I only have 2 videos. It's okay. Follow me on Instagram. I'll try to keep up with you guys as much as possible. But in this upcoming year, that's my goal is to release a course, release a group coaching so that we can all, you know, grow and then hit 7 million this year, 5 to 7 million this year.
Let's go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you.